She didn't just land in London, she walked straight into a wall of ice, whispers, and a reality check nobody in her circle saw coming. The plan, if the chatter is to be believed, was simple. Quiet arrival, low profile, in and out without a scene. No flash bulbs, no dramatic return, no grand statement. Just a discreet step back onto British soil. But instead of slipping through unnoticed, the moment allegedly turned awkward fast, the kind of awkward that clings to a reputation already hanging by a thread. Eyewitness gossip swirling online claims she was pulled aside at border control, not waved through, not ushered into some velvet-roped VIP lane, just stopped, passport checked, then checked again and again. The delay, according to airport murmurs repeated across social media, stretched long enough to turn confidence into visible discomfort. Whether routine or not, the symbolism hit harder than any official explanation ever could, because this wasn't just about travel documents. But this was about history, about interviews, about accusations that shook palaces and split public opinion right down the middle. The woman who once described life in Britain as emotionally brutal was now, allegedly, being scrutinized by the same system she publicly criticized. And the internet? Oh, it noticed. Instantly. Online commentators framed it as humiliation. Supporters called it coincidence. Critics called it karma. But everyone agreed on one thing. The optics were brutal. No royal welcome, no soft landing, just fluorescent lighting and unanswered questions hanging in recycled airport air. And here's where the story stops being just a travel hiccup and starts looking like part of a much bigger storm cloud forming over Montecito. Because behind the polished speeches and carefully curated appearances, the brand that was supposed to soar after the royal exit hasn't exactly been gliding. Big media deals that once sounded like fairy tale jackpots have, at the very least, gone suspiciously quiet. Streaming partnerships that launched with fireworks now sit in a haze of no updates, development limbo, and industry insiders politely changing the subject. No official collapse, no dramatic press releases, just silence. And in Hollywood, silence is louder than a scandal. Add to that the growing online speculation about finances, not accusations, not confirmed investigations, just persistent internet chatter asking how the lifestyle matches the visible output. Lavish security, high-profile travel, luxury living, all while public projects seem fewer and farther between. The gap between image and output has become a favorite topic for armchair analysts who treat charity filings and production credits like detective evidence boards. Again, nothing proven. But the whispers are multiplying. Former staff stories, quoted anonymously in blogs and talk shows, describe confusion behind the scenes, shifting plans, projects announced with sparkle that quietly fade into obscurity, rebrands discussed more than realized. Each pivot from media mogul to activist to lifestyle figure feels, to critics, less like evolution and more like scrambling. And that's why the alleged airport delay hit differently. It looked less like a random inconvenience and more like a metaphor unfolding in real time. A figure who once commanded global headlines now waiting behind a line rope. A brand built on bold declarations now facing quiet indifference. A power play era giving way to paperwork and protocol. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, the Hollywood energy has cooled. The early days were electric. Red carpets, standing ovations, powerful friends singing praises. But lately, fewer public alliances, fewer visible collaborations. Industry players, ever sensitive to public mood, seem cautious about attaching themselves to anything that might come with online backlash baked in. Because that's the other shift. Public patience. At first, the story was compelling. A dramatic departure. A search for independence. A promise to tell their truth. Audiences leaned in. But years later, many viewers feel they've heard every chapter. Sympathy fatigue is real, and once it sets in, it's nearly impossible to reverse. Insiders quoted in entertainment commentary claim tensions behind the scenes have risen as expectations clash with reality. Again, unverifiable, but persistent. Pressure does that. When the narrative you believed would dominate the world starts losing its grip, stress finds every crack. And still, the attempts to relaunch continue. Soft focus interviews, carefully staged appearances, hints of new ventures in wellness, lifestyle, inspiration. Each rollout polished, each reaction mixed. Because rebranding only works when the audience wants the new version. Right now, the crowd seems undecided at best, exhausted at worst, which circles us right back to that airport moment everyone's dissecting. Whether it was a standard procedure or something more awkward, the visual stuck. A global figure paused mid-stride, waiting for approval. It felt symbolic of a larger pause, a career in transition, a reputation under review, a future uncertain. No palace door swinging open, no Hollywood machine roaring to life, just a woman at a checkpoint, and a world watching watching what happens next. Maybe the comeback strategy will click. Maybe a new project will land and flip the script overnight. Fame has a funny way of reviving itself when least expected. But right now, the narrative feels less like a triumphant return and more like a cliffhanger with no clear hero shot. And in the age of endless headlines, one truth remains undefeated. When the spotlight starts to dim, every small stumble looks like a fall. And just like that, the fairy tale rebrand started to feel less like a glow-up and more like a scramble behind velvet curtains. Because while the airport moment grabbed headlines, the real drama is happening where cameras don't reach, inside boardrooms, private calls, and strategy meetings that allegedly aren't going the way anyone expected. The dream was global domination, media empire, influence, cultural power. Instead, insiders quoted across entertainment chatter keep hinting at something very different: hesitation. Studios hesitating, brands hesitating, even former allies hesitating. Not because doors are slammed shut, but because enthusiasm isn't what it used to be. And in celebrity land, lukewarm is worse than rejection. Rejection is loud. Lukewarm is silent, and silence doesn't trend. Take the streaming world. The early announcements around deals with giants like Netflix and Spotify sounded like a power couple conquering Hollywood on their own terms. Freedom, creativity, their truth. But fast forward and the output slowed while expectations stayed sky high. When platforms invest big, they want returns that shake the algorithm. Instead, the buzz tapered into polite industry phrasing, shifting priorities, new directions, no current updates. Translation in gossip circles? The sparkle didn't convert. That doesn't make anyone villains, it just makes the situation messy. Because massive deals create massive lifestyles, and maintaining that image when new hits aren't landing becomes its own pressure cooker. Which is why online speculation about finances keeps bubbling. No confirmed probes, no official wrongdoing stated anywhere, just a loud internet chorus doing math on visible expenses versus visible projects. Security teams, property upkeep, staff, travel, it all adds up fast. And when curiosity meets celebrity, theories breed like wildfire. One frequent target of that chatter is their foundation, Archewell, linked publicly to both Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Critics online comb through public filings like treasure maps, claiming confusion about spending categories or project visibility. Supporters push back just as loudly, arguing that philanthropy work often happens quietly and that public documents don't tell full stories. But perception doesn't wait for nuance, and right now perception is restless. Add in the persistent rumor mill whispering about U.S. tax authorities. Again, no confirmed action, just speculation bouncing between blogs and talk shows, and you get a narrative cocktail that's hard to contain. The mere suggestion of scrutiny, even unproven, sticks to a brand like glitter you can't wash off. Meanwhile, the couple's public image is caught in a tug-of-war. On one side, there's the humanitarian, mental health advocate, socially conscious identity. On the other, critics who say every move feels curated, every cause timed with PR cycles. Fair or not, that contrast fuels endless debate, and debate fatigue is setting in. Because here's the uncomfortable truth of Martin fame: audiences love a rebellion story, but they don't always love the aftermath. The escape chapter is thrilling. The now what chapter is harder to sell, and insiders quoted in celebrity commentary claim that now what is exactly the question echoing behind closed doors. New concepts pitched, lifestyle ventures teased, soft relaunches floated, each idea designed to pivot away from royal drama towards something lighter, aspirational, marketable. But rebrands only work when the public is ready to forgive, forget, or fall in love again. Right now, reactions feel split. Some fans remain fiercely loyal, defending every step as unfairly criticized. Others have tuned out completely, rolling their eyes at what they see as endless reinvention without clear direction. The middle, the casual audience that once leaned in with curiosity, may be drifting, and that's why that airport scene, whether routine or not, keeps echoing. It visually summed up a bigger shift, from commanding the narrative to reacting to it, from setting the agenda to answering questions, from being chased by cameras to being analyzed by commentators. Even in California, where reinvention is practically a sport, the social climate has cooled. The early days of celebrity solidarity, glowing interviews, famous friends, public praise have grown quieter, not hostile, just distant. Hollywood is loyal to momentum, and momentum lately feels uncertain. None of this means a comeback is impossible. Fame is cyclical. One breakout project, one viral moment, one perfectly timed collaboration can flip everything overnight. We've seen bigger reputational nosedives recover with the right script and the right timing, but comebacks need clarity, a strong, believable next chapter. And right now, the storyline feels like it's still being written in pencil, which brings us back to the emotional core of this whole saga, expectation versus reality. One thing's guaranteed, people are still watching. Maybe not with the same starry-eyed fascination as before, but with the sharp curiosity reserved for stories that feel unfinished. And unfinished stories are the most dangerous kind, because the ending can still shock everyone. Can still shock everyone. Can still shock everyone.